What's going on, you guys? Welcome to my home office slash YouTube studio tour. It seems like recently a lot of you guys have been asking me what camera equipment I use, what do I use for lighting, what's my computer setup, my desk setup, my editing setup. And so I figured we'd just knock it all out in one single video, kind of take you around the room and just talk about the equipment I use, why I use it, the different decorations and decor and just everything top to bottom. So starting out on this side of the room, this is probably stuff that none of you guys have ever seen. And typically that's because I shoot over here in this corner. But I think it's all worth mentioning. I really like the way I've got everything set up. It kind of suits my personality, and a lot of this stuff I just made by hand. So these shelves that you see here, these are actually just 2x10s. I think it was a 2x10 by 10 that I cut in half that I got from Home Depot. I stained it. I got some of these cast iron pieces that I just screwed together, spray painted them black, and then screwed them to the wall. I mean, it makes for some really great floating shelves. And then just on the shelves, they really don't serve a purpose. I don't really use it for storage or anything, but I have a lot of little knickknacks and trinkets and, you know, miscellaneous stuff that I like, and I feel like it just adds a lot to the room. So over on this side of the shelf, I have all of my camera equipment that I'm not using. Right now, I'm filming on the Sony 16 to 35 millimeter f4.0 just because I'm cheap and I can't afford the 2.8 version. But my other two lenses are the Sony 85 millimeter 1.8 and the Sony 28 millimeter f2. Now, this guy right here, this is my bread and butter. If you see me filming a YouTube video, chances are this is what I'm filming on. And the great thing is this is the cheapest lens that I own. I think it's probably about 300 bucks, but it's got that really juicy shallow depth of field. Shallow depth of field that just separates me from the background, and I really like it. So this is 97% of the time, if I'm filming a YouTube video, unless I need something really wide like this, this is the guy that I'm filming on. I've got a couple other things. I've got a wedding picture of my wife and I. I like having just a tiny splash of color in the office, and so I've got some succulents. They're not real. I think I got these from TJ Maxx for 10 bucks. And then you have to have Jeffrey, the giraffe. He keeps me company throughout the day as I'm working, as I'm filming YouTube videos. And so everybody say hi to Jeffrey. Up a little bit higher, hopefully you can see all that. I've got a couple other miscellaneous random things, just some more gold, I don't know what you even call that, geometric statue shape thing. My wife is a big fan of gold, and so she's kind of put gold accents all throughout the office, which I really like as well. I've got my Sony a7 III box. There's nothing in it right now because I'm using my a7 III. That's what I film all of my videos on. But it's worked really well for me. I'm a big fan of this camera. I've got a mug, I've got some pictures, got an iPhone, just a couple of random other miscellaneous items just to fill the shelves and to kind of give it a little bit more personality. Moving a little bit further into the room, I've got this really nice Wingback Chair. I don't remember exactly how much I paid for this guy, but I think we picked it up at Target for 100 and some odd bucks, maybe it was $100. I think it's a good accent. I really like the neutral colors in this room, and so the gray goes well with the light gray walls. It's decently comfy. There's not a lot of people that use it. Most of the time it's just me, myself, and I in this room filming. But it never hurts to have an extra chair. I don't have any clients coming in, so it really doesn't get a lot of use, but I feel like this corner would be pretty empty if I didn't have anything here. Moving over to the other side of the room, I know it's kind of a dumb thing, but this is one of my favorite parts of this room. I really love the white wood wrapped windows. I love the attention to detail. I love the window casing. I just love how crisp and clean and minimalist it just makes everything look. Again, I know, I realize that's kind of a dumb thing, but like I said, this is one of my favorite things about the window. We specifically built this house, and I knew that I was going to be spending a lot of time in this room, and so I wanted 3 giant windows to let the sunlight in, and just so there was a ton of natural light in this room while I'm working. This area over here is what all of you are probably the most familiar with. This is typically how I have my my camera equipment set up when I'm filming videos. So I have my tripod set up over on this side with my camera facing this direction, and then I've got a microphone on a boom stand that sits right above me, just outside of frame. This way I make sure that I get the best audio possible, and I'm not tethered to like a wireless mic like this. But it really creates really good, crisp audio, and it's really easy. Most of the time I just leave my tripod and my camera equipment set up there because I'm filming new videos all the time. So this is a setup that works really, really well for me. Here, maybe I should move this chair out of the way just so you guys can see a little bit better. Now over here on the right side of the desk is my desktop computer. This is a custom built machine that I built maybe 6 to 8 months ago. I'm not sure exactly, but this thing is a tank. It's a beast. It cuts through 4K video like butter. It has no issues at all, and I'm really glad that I built this, just because obviously I do a lot of video editing, and having a slow computer just really isn't an option for me. I've always really enjoyed technology, so that's a huge part of my workflow. For people who are nerds and really want the tech specs, it's got a Core i7 9700K, 16 gigs of RAM, and a GTX 1060. I don't do any gaming on it, but having a semi-decent graphics card is huge when I'm editing video. The desk itself, I don't think you can really be a YouTuber if you don't have this desk. This setup is something that I stole from somebody else. It's not at all unique to me. This is the IKEA Carlby Walnut desktop. It's actually a butcher block countertop that, like I said, tons of YouTubers have, and it's supported on either end by these white Alex drawers from IKEA as well. I think it makes for a super clean setup. I love how minimalist it is. I love all the storage space. I mean, there's tons of space that I haven't used in any of these drawers yet, and really I just need to organize everything. But like I said, it makes for a super clean setup, and I love it, and I don't plan on moving away from it anytime soon. Okay, coming back over here, I've got my 15-inch MacBook Pro. It's a 2018 model. A lot of people have asked me, why do I have a MacBook when I have a desktop computer as well? And the reason for that is because typically I do all of my work at this main desk right here, but I love having something mobile that I can take on the go if I'm talking to clients. The other thing is, oftentimes I will be here and I'll be recording a video. And again, my camera will be right here, but I'll have my notes on my laptop right here, just barely out of frame. I could keep it here on the main screen, but I don't know. I feel like that's kind of corny, having notes while I'm talking to all of you guys. So I really like having both setups, and there's some things that I like about PCs, there's some things I like about Macs, and so I like having the variety, and I like having the best of both worlds. And I don't have an issue switching back and forth either, so that's not a concern. The stand that the MacBook Pro is sitting in is the 12 South Book Arc stand. It's a little bit older, and it's actually a little bit on the expensive side. I'm kind of torn. I like the way that it looks, but I do feel like it was a little bit expensive for what it is, just a piece of metal. But it looks really sharp. I bought this back in 2016, so I've had it for quite a while. It used to match better with my old MacBook Pro that was just the silver rather than the space gray, but like I said, it's kind of expensive, so I'm not gonna switch it out because there's no need. On either side of the monitor here, I've got 2 Bose speakers. These are the Companion 2s, I believe. Back in the day, these were awesome. I bought these when I was in college, and they're still, don't get me wrong, they're still a great set of speakers. I highly recommend them. I kind of feel like they too were a little bit on the expensive side. They run about $100, but with Bose speakers, you really can't go wrong. Obviously, the star of the show and the main thing that everybody is drawn to is the curved monitor. I have to read this off or I'm going to get it wrong. This is the LG 34UC80-B 34-inch curved ultra-wide monitor. This thing is gold. I love it. I have so much screen real estate, and at the same time, it's not too much. It's not like the 49-inch that go all the way across the room. It's perfect because it has enough screen real estate that I can put 3 windows side by side if I want, but at the same time I can close everything, just open Premiere Pro and have my whole timeline spread out on a single monitor. It makes editing way faster. I can edit videos on my MacBook, and I do when I'm traveling or things like that, but with this computer and with this monitor, it makes things so much easier and so much faster. Love it. Highly recommend it. The monitor itself is not 4K, and you know what? I'm all right with that. I don't need a 4K monitor. I think this guy set me back about $550, and it might be even cheaper now. The keyboard and mouse is nothing special. It's just a wireless, I think it's an HP, a wireless HP keyboard, and then a wireless Logitech mouse. Again, I'm not a gamer, and so I don't need anything crazy. I just really like the low profile, super minimalist setup without any wires or cables. You can see that the monitor itself is floating. It's not sitting on a stand that came with it. I bought the Vivo desk arm, and I really like how it just takes everything up and off the desk. I don't frequently have a ton of stuff here underneath the monitor, but just having, most monitors have a stand that comes out to here and comes out to here, and so just removing that, I feel, gives you a ton more room and space on the desk, and it helps hide all my wires and cables, and it just makes for a super clean setup. Here on the left is my desk lamp that you've seen in almost all of my videos. I think this is the Sir Par's House minimalist wood desk lamp. Kind of a mouthful there, but it's perfect. It's not too bright, it's not too dark. It gives off just enough of an accent light when I'm filming my videos to kind of give me like a little bit definition between me and the background. So I really like that. Super cheap. I think this guy was somewhere around 20 bucks or so. The very last thing on my desk is the Amazon Echo. I don't use this a lot. I can't say her name, so we'll say she who must be named, otherwise she'll activate. But typically I just use her to turn on and off the desk lamp. I know this is really dumb, but I hate walking into a room and having to fumble for a light switch. Most of the time the light switch in my office is off actually, and I just use this to give me enough of an accent light. I feel like it's probably dumb, but I feel like it kind of just helps me focus when I don't have all the lights on, and I can just kind of zone into my monitor and zone out of everything else and just be really productive and get work done. Of course, she does other things. She'll play music, she'll set a timer for me, she'll answer questions, but most of the time I really just use her to turn on and on my lamp, which is attached to a smart plug that I have here behind the garbage can. Down here on the ground, this is something that you guys have never seen, any of you. This is probably the most recent addition to the room, and I love it. This is, I don't know, I've got a lot of favorite things in this room, but this is definitely one of them. I used to have one of those just crappy plastic floor mats that, like your chair always rolls off of it. It always gets those indents where you sit and the wheels make those indents. And I don't know, they always slide around. I don't really like it. So I actually made this. This is a piece of plywood that I took some old flooring and I put it together, glued it down, and then I cut off all of the edges around it. And it makes for a super slick surface. It's really nice. My chair just fits right on, and it's awesome. It doesn't slide around. It gives me just enough room to do what I need, but doesn't have all of the cons of those plastic mats, like I said. This chair is nothing special. I think I picked it up for 50 bucks off of Facebook. Again, I've said this before, but I'm not a big gamer, and so I don't really need anything crazy for a chair. It's comfy, it has good ergonomics. I don't slouch too much when I use it, and I don't know, it does the job, and for 50 bucks I can't really complain. The last thing I'm going to talk about as far as the desk is these picture frames. This is a pretty recent addition to the office as well. I set up these picture frames. Again, I got all these off Amazon, but I printed out some of my favorite quotes. I'll be honest, when I walk in the office, typically I just sit down at my desk and I kind of forget that these are here, but I feel like it adds a lot to the room. And occasionally I look at them and I still feel like these are some of my favorite quotes. So, yeah, I think it just gives kind of a nice contrast between the desk and the wall. I guess something needed to be on this wall so it wasn't so empty. Okay, coming around to this side of the room, we've got the closet, but first off, I'll focus on this plant. We've got the plant and the base and the stand. The plant and the base, that came from Hobby Lobby. This is a fairly recent addition, but the stand itself, I made this. This was something that I liked the look of, but I just couldn't find exactly what I wanted. I had a kind of a vision in my head of what I liked, and I couldn't find it anywhere in town. And so I'm sure you can tell by now that with the shelves and the chair mat that I'm a fan of building things. So it took me an hour or two, spray painted it. I think it looks pretty sharp. Inside the closet here, I'll be honest, I'm a little bit embarrassed to show this to everybody because it's not quite as clean as I would like, but for the most part, it just kind of holds all of my extra camera gear. I've got boxes for my lenses, I've got my gimbal, a couple backpacks, a couple other accessories, umbrellas, light stands. So this guy right here, this is something that most people are probably not familiar with, but this is another monitor arm that I retrofitted. Thank you to Daniel Schiffer for this recommendation. But it clamps to my desk just like this, and then I mount the camera to this facing down. And so that's how I get all of those overhead shots, if you guys have ever wondered how those happen. So that's a pretty cool addition. Other than that, it's just got a bunch of crap that I try to hide from everybody, a bunch of papers that I need to file for our business. But one thing that I did want to show you was when we built this house, I was very specific with where I wanted all of the outlets, because in our previous house we had the printer and it was just sitting out in the open and I didn't really like how it was. And so I spaced out these shelves perfectly so that the printer could be in here. And then I made sure to put power and Ethernet in the wall too, so that I wasn't running extension cords out, because typically you don't have power within closets. So I did that on purpose. I think it really cleans things up. Got a couple sliders, couple just, like I said, miscellaneous stuff. So that's kind of an anticlimactic way to end an office/YouTube tour, but I think that's a pretty good broad overview of everything that I do and just kind of my filming style, my productivity workflow. And so yeah. Anyway, if you've got questions about anything, of course, be sure to leave that in the comments down below. Be sure to subscribe. All of the different items that I've got that were purchased online, I'll have down in the description. Most, if not all of it, most of it is from Amazon. So if you're interested in purchasing any of the other things that I have in here, you'll find that in the description. Anyway, until next week, thanks so much for watching, and we'll see you guys later.